in the chopper and in one of the jump seats, and he had wounded on board. They were sitting there with bloody bandages and such as that. But the chopper was now starting to shake quite a bit because of the damage to the tail rotor. So he headed over for the old Japanese strip and rolled to a stop on the old runway in the elephant grass and shut down. He climbed down out of the cockpit and said he'd called for another helicopter to come in and pick us up. Well, another chopper did, but he landed about 100 to 200 meters away from us. And we had to carry the wounded over to that chopper and ask him, why did you do that? And he said, well, you guys are supposedly in a minefield. Well, they couldn't have been very good mines, and probably anti-tank mines. But he got over there, and yeah, all right. Loaded all the wounded on board that thing, and that filled him up. So he took off, and he said he's going to call for another chopper to come back in to get us. Well, we hunkered down in the elephant grass, and Sampop had gotten picked up by another chopper, but Buma was there with me, and he was still pretty shook, and he was just staring at me like I'd been his savior, and perhaps I had been, I don't know. But Sampop and my co-pilots were already on their way back to Paksay. We waited and waited, and finally another chopper came back in. And he had enough room for all of us, and we got in that thing, and the cabin door on the H-34 was open, and I made an obscene gesture to the fellows that had shot at us. And also, my shin pocket on my uniform pants, I had a 38 Derringer, 38 Special Derringer. Now, if I would have gotten back to Paksay with the first helicopter and had all this fresh in my mind, I might have taken that Derringer and done something rash to Tall Man. But now I was kind of cooling down, and I wanted to scare the hell out of him, though. And there was Uzis on board this chopper, and I grabbed one of them that was laying on the floor and figured I'd walk in with that, and that should get his attention. But the Plateau de Boulevans was a high mesa, flat, but it dropped off a sheer cliff all around it, down to the alluvial plain that was formed by the Mekong River. And as we got up to the edge of this Plateau de Boulevans, this chopper ran out of gas. And we were auto-rotating down into the flatlands by a village. Now, we did not know if they were good guys or bad guys. It was never determined. But I could see dogs and kids out in the village, so that was a good sign. But as we flared to put it down into a rice paddy near the village, one of our H-34s with gun mounts on it came out of Cambodia, an Air America chopper, and gave me a ride the rest of the way into Paksay. But when I got there, I walked into the customer shack, and Tall Man and Gray Fox were there, and Tall Man turned white when he saw that I had an Uzi in my hand. And I just pushed the release and dropped the clip on the floor and said, "Who's getting the beer?" And he says, I will. And he ran out the door. And Gray Fox turned to me and he says, "You know, he probably won't come back." And I said, "That's probably a damn good idea, too." But when your adrenaline level is that high, you just really are vibrating. And saw a lot of humor in that, and wanted to get some an orange or something to take the dry mouth out, and I got that, and waited for a caribou to come down and bring us back to Vientiane, Laos.